Hello, everybody. Evan Abrams here, coming at you with another video challenge here on Friday the 13th. Spooky. I'm here to challenge you to do some editing. We're going to be doing some editing in Premiere today, looking at direct-to-camera intros, kind of like how things look now. But as you know, if you ever created anything for YouTube or anything that requires a little bit of an intro, it always needs to be a little bit shorter. So I am here to try to fix that stuff up, try to get things worked in, and hopefully trim about a quarter of the time out of stuff. Ooh, hello, everyone. Sam holding it down in the chat. Umacorn, hello. Laura, Kevin, Marilyn, hello. Oh man, so many people jumping in here. It's fantastic. Steve, back again. Katarina. And I'll tell you, folks, people were hanging out with me earlier this morning. Still fairly sick, so I'm going to be a little bit nasally here. Let me know if things are loud. Had to do a bit of tweaking of the old soundboard over here because we're going to be in Premiere today, so we got to patch the audio out of this into that. But hey, enough of looking at me. Let's look at spoiler. It's more of me. So we're talking about direct-to-camera intros where you're going to be staring right down the barrel. You're going to be delivering ideally something under 30, ideally something under 20, ideally something under 15 seconds right to the camera. Now, what we're looking at here, oh good, I'm sounding good, that's fantastic, is, hold on, I'm going to put my headphones on here so that I can enjoy the audio along with you. What we've got is this lovely bit of business here. This is Evan Abrams, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to create direct-to-camera cut-downs to get these as fast as possible. We're going to look at some effects, some transitions, all inside of Adobe Premiere, and ideally under 15 seconds. So what we have is something that used to take 20 seconds here. If we look at the kind of full version, you can see, yep, indeed, that rolls out to 20, right? But I've managed to trim out about a quarter of it, right? And still maintain the same amount of stuff happening. And how to see the exact time for the ins and outs? Good question. If you tap your in and you're out, you want to observe them up here, and you can tab between them, but what you want to do is go, that'll take you to your in, that'll take you to your out, that'll give you the number that you're looking for. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting sidetracked already. So what we want to do is we're going to observe, roughly, I think I've got like 4 different techniques that I want to show you here. Hopefully they're going to be useful to you, and be able to apply them, and then maybe apply them to your own footage, share them with us in the Discord. I want to see what y'all make with this. So let us begin. If you download the files, you get the work files, you get to enjoy me talking to you. That's fun. So I'm going to drag that down here, and what I need to do is pick which of these audios. You see, I recorded this with, that's right, no tangents allowed. This was recorded using the webcam here, and before we get into it too much, talk about this footage, I'm already a bit further back than I probably want to be, right? So observing this footage, I've pulled back, I've given myself a little bit more headroom, a little bit more space around, because it's going to allow us to artificially punch in quite a bit. This is recorded in 4K, so we can punch in quite a bit and not lose a lot of quality here in post. So, step 1. Let's go ahead and just bump this audio, this bottom layer here, to get those lined up as they should be. So we've got the good audio, or we'll just edit to the baseline audio there. That'll be fine. It's okay, I'll say. So with this, we want to first just trim for content, right? All this stuff off the front, obviously not applicable, so I'll chop that out. Everything off the back end goes down. Let's go. So originally we did like a, hey, let's hit the camera. That'll be fun and spicy. But quite frankly, not totally necessary. We can actually trim it right here. So those types of things, we can be rid of them. Unless you're doing it exceptionally fast, don't worry about it. Now, this is good, right? We've trimmed this down, even with removing things in bulk. If we left it alone like this, we're coming in just over 20, right? Just over 20. And what we need to do is get in here and remove some more. So we're going to listen real quick. Is there anything content-wise that we don't need? Anything superfluous? Hello, everyone. This is Evan Abrams, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create direct-to-camera cut-downs to get these as fast as possible. We're going to look at some effects, some transitions, some clever camera movements that you might do, all inside of Adobe Premiere, so we can get these things chopped down to their fastest possible, and ideally, under 15 seconds. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to start hunting for places that we can start to clip stuff out, right? Where can we tighten up? Now, one way of tightening is just remove a lot of kind of the breath between stuff. Get these as fast as possible. So this area, what I want to do, we are going to do something we call like cutting on punctuation. So this is like bop, 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 bop. Oh, and are you meant to hear it? I hope you're able to hear it. Hold on. Cut downs to get these as above this slider here as fast as possible. We're going to look at some effects, some transitions. Hopefully you're hearing that. Hopefully that is audible. Let me know if it is not. Oh, it's very quiet. Well, video. I'm going to be showing you how to create direct-to-camera cut-downs to get these as fast as possible. All right. Hello, everyone. So let's get into the actual editing here. Cut-downs to get these as fast as possible. All right. Hard to tell. There's a big delay between stuff. So cut-downs to get these as fast as possible. So for this area where we're saying as fast as possible, we want to go ahead and make those more punchy. So let's come in here to get these. Really dial in. Let's really expand this waveform so we can really see. To get these as fast. So I'm going to just come in. I'm going to use my razor blade here and give it a chop. Give it a chop. Give it a chop. Chop this as well. So in terms of things that can go, this part can go, right? And right here, we're going to tighten that up by a few frames, right? So clip here, a few frames here. Now, when we're talking about getting things done within seconds, right? Every frame counts. Every frame that you don't need is good. To get these as fast as. Okay. Now, the other thing that's important is the perception of speed, right? So having more cuts per minute is going to increase your perception of speed. So things will feel as if they are going faster, right? So with this bunch of cuts we've made as fast as possible. One thing you'll notice, these are jump cuts, right? It's really jumpy. Jump, 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 jump. That's not particularly what we want, but in order to mask that, play a little trick. We can have a little trick here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into the effects controls, right? We are going to, what I like to do anyway, is activate some little proportional lines here. So activate your grid lines. And I want to line up our subject matter right here. So if you need to create your own guides out here, we can come in here. Where's my rulers? There we go. We come up to the rulers and drag out. We can drag out new lines onto the screen. Now these are currently set at the halfway point and a third of the way down. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to make this thing bigger, right? I'm going to start by scaling it up and moving it right here so that my eyes, my face is right on that space right there. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move our anchor point to be right on that focal point as well. Now, I've made all of these cuts, so I'm going to select this first clip, copy it, select all these later clips in here, and we are going to paste attributes to that. I'm going to paste the motion to it. I'm going to hit OK, and now these should all be as fast as possible. So those are all set up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this element here and we're just going to scale it up. So right now it's at 107. Let's bump that up to 115. So we've scaled it up. Now let's go a little bit more. So maybe not 115, let's go to 120. After that, let's make the next one at 125. And let's go ahead and make the next one at an even 130, right? Now we'll play that back
to get these as fast as possible.
So with this, we've now kind of trimmed out a little bit of time, and it feels faster. It feels punchier as we go through it. So
as fast as possible.
Wonderful. That's got to feel good. Now, never mind that the audio is maybe a little bit abutted against each other. In fact, I might even take this and let's bump that.
We're going to look at possible.
And in order to smooth that out, Command-Shift-D, that's going to apply this little transition here.
To get these as fast as possible.
So the audio can be smoothed, right? And the video can be a little bit choppy. This is going pretty well indeed, I think. Now, these kind of jumpy cuts around, that's okay.
This video will be showing.
But here's a spot.
This video will be showing you how to create direct-to-camera cut downs to get these.
These are just a couple of breaths, right? And
in this video,
it would be nice if that wasn't as long. You don't need to see me breathing. That's fine. So I'll just go ahead and take a clip, chop it here, chop it there. I'm going to remove what's in between. Now this video, these two frames are close, right? They're pretty close. Now, I understand I've given you access to this footage, so please be kind to me when you're editing it. I would request. But these two frames are a bit of a jump. So here's a technique maybe you've seen, maybe you've not used before, but we're going to come into the effects and we are going to find the morph cut. So under the dissolve tab, the video transitions dissolve morph cut. A morph cut is going to use a little bit of our friend computer intelligence, a little bit of machine learning to analyze these two clips and try to blend between them. If you're familiar with frame blending, when you stretch things in time, this is applying a very similar type of idea that for the duration of this cut, it is blending between these two things. Actually pretty smooth, I'm not going to lie. So this is the after. Hold on, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this so you can see the before. So twas like that, and afterwards it is like this. So it is basically picking common pixels and mushing them together. There are areas where this will fall flat on its face. If we go back to the original example here, I've made a couple of cuts in here with such an effect. So if we come in here to the end, we've got one around here. And if we really tighten in, hold on, we really got to tighten in to see it. See right here, you can see that because I'm wearing glasses, the algorithm doesn't do a good job of that. But if it happens fast enough, people won't notice. It's only for one frame, and it's splitting the difference. So our brains will make up the difference. Also, I move around and I gesticulate a lot, right? I'm always moving my head around. So again, other things that are going to make a morph cut way more successful is less clutter in the background, a simpler type of form. So that's why I wore a gray shirt instead of my colored shirt. And having no glasses. Glasses specifically trips this thing up because it's hard for it to distinguish between the model of the human face. But you can see that in bridging something like this, it actually bridges pretty quick. So we've got intentional push-ins on jump cuts. We've got what we would say are using some morph cuts to try to abut two pieces of footage together. That can cover a little bit of distance. Now, the other type of technique is just simply going from close to far, right? This is a very, very common technique that we'll explore right here, where we are abutting possible.
We're going to look at some effects, some trends.
And all we're really doing with this one, we're just inventing close to, you know, medium close. Well, those are, anyway, we're from like the sternum and up, and here we are punched in quite a bit closer, right? But the difference between these two clips, it's conceivable that between these two edits, that these are the same shot, right? And maybe it's a second camera, maybe it's a different lens. It's not. But because there's enough of a difference between the two of them, this clip here coming in at about 105 scale, and this clip here coming in at 130, right? This cut between the two of them feels pretty good, right? And so you want to look for that type of a thing. And also, you know, the framing is, we're going to look at pretty close. So we've covered up a couple of our match cuts, I think, quite well, or our jump cuts quite well. There's one more sort of cover-up maneuver that I want to try to show here, and this one is admittedly a little bit complicated. Premiere, and ideally comes in here towards the end. It is a kind of crash zoom to apply to your footage. So what we want to do is, let's go back to this example here, and I'll try to find the exact spot. Yeah. You know what, Tim? That's a good idea. We were, instead of trying to cover up all these things, you can always hang a lantern on it. You can put the cat on the table and yell at it, or put the tiger on the table and yell at it, as we say. You can always just put a big boop over it and make that seem good and normal. Actually, if you wanted to do that, it's actually not that tricky. You can come in here and create a new item. You can create a bars and tone. So as Tim is suggesting, we want to drop that down. And so with this, this wonderful bars and tone, you're going to have access to this type of color banding to drop down if you want to do that kind of thing, which is fun. Anyway.
Adobe Premiere. So we can get these things chopped down to their fastest possible, and ideally under inside of Adobe Premiere.
And so I'm bridging. I'm going to be bridging between here.
So we can get these things chopped down to their fastest possible, and ideally
and here. So this is kind of the bridge that I want to make.
Adobe Premiere, and ideally under 15 seconds.
So,
and ideally,
there's a bit of an audio glitch to overcome, right? So we are going to try to blend that.
Adobe Premiere, and ideally,
oh, let's bump it. Let's give this a little bit of a bump this way.
Adobe Premiere, and ideally,
and maybe we need to trim a little that way.
Adobe Premiere, and ideally.
Okay, so as long as we can smooth this,
Adobe Premiere, and ideally,
close enough. And so these two here, these two are very different frames, right? They're very different. So what I want to do to try to disguise this edit, I want to do the same type of thing that we did before. So this one, right? I'm going to again use that focal area, right? Let's make use of that focal space. We want to put the head in that area, right? Line it up, really T-ball. Get this cue ball right on top of that. Fantastic. And we're gonna pop to this. So if these two could line themselves up over that focal area, I think we're gonna be in good shape, right? We're gonna be in good shape if we can make that happen. So the head is around here.
And ideally,
let's make sure that we don't have those nasty edges towards the outside. So let's bring our pan behind tool, moving our anchor point right into that area. So we can scale that up like so. And we're going to scale even further, right? So step one, I want to just confirm, I want to definitely confirm that this little widget here, right? That this little buddy is exactly where I want it, that it's focused right there. You can also adjust it. You can adjust your anchor point over here, And you can see that by doing this, we are sort of sliding the footage left and right to achieve that. So let's see if we can get by with maybe 106. I don't want to go too far if I can help it. Right, I just want to make sure that we are not, that we're kind of not leaving any space around the edges. Okay, perfect. So again, the place that we're zooming into is critically important that these are lined up. So that's why these grids are helpful. And just to remind you again, you bring the grids out by dragging from the sides. That'll bring them out. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to roll back a little bit. I'm going to hit the scale on this. So we're going to keyframe scale. And at this point, we're going to be really transitioning to the other clip. So what I'm going to do is maybe we're going to bring that up to like 120 perhaps. So we'll bring it up like that. And then the next clip, this is going to start. Let's have it start at like maybe 125. Set a keyframe on the scale there. Let's move ahead 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe that much. And we're going to bring this up to like, I don't know, maybe 135, something like that. So let's play that back.
And ideally.
So we still have this kind of a bump, right? We want to try to smooth this as much as possible. A lot of that can be done by simply pinching these together. So making sure that this movement is happening a lot faster. And I'm not going to lie, it does take some bumping to get this exactly the way you want.
And ideally.
If we want to go, I would recommend checking out the example file because it will take some fiddling to bring this together. These two are a bit more cohesive because we are using some easing on here. So we're easing into and out of from here by right-clicking on this, and we're saying ease out, and then adjusting the handle. So it's kind of ramping up. Right, so we're going from pretty wide to really close, right, in this particular instance. I keep losing it on the timeline, so it's harder to scrub back and forth through it. But the key thing that I want to show you here, right, and why does this particularly work well, right, for it to look, at least in this example, why does it work well in this? It's working because the fastest point of movement, you see where this is a linear keyframe, that is right on the edge of the cut. So the hard cut takes place at the fastest point of movement of change in the scale, which covers up some of the distinction. Now we can tell what's happening as we toggle back and forth over this edit point, but it's a lot harder to tell when we snap through. Even though my head's changing angle, it kind of feels like we're crashing into it. So that can help you bridge things that would otherwise feel like a very unnatural jump cut. So remember, we're easing in to the final keyframe, we're easing out of the first keyframe, and we're making sure that where things cross each other, that we're going as fast as possible. And we're just visually trying to make sure that the balance of the frame feels correct and good. So that's cutting down your direct-to-camera things. Oh boy, maybe cramming 4 techniques into 1/2 hour was not the best idea, but I hope that these have been helpful, and I'd really encourage you to download the project file. Links to that are in the description so that you can pick all of these techniques apart. I've gone ahead and marked them, so you'll find markers at the top of the timeline, so you can really dissect what each of them are and how they're different and how we apply them. So we've got morph cuts. You've got a few of those going on. You've got that kind of punctuated cuts happening in between. And then we've got this little fake smash zoom in here. Now, I want to see what you make. I want to see the things that you generate out of this. So if you do create things, I mean, go ahead and edit my little spiel here if you like, but I'd love to see your own. Just record yourself with a webcam, record yourself with your phone, go crazy with this stuff, and that way we'll be able to see and experience what you've got going on. Paul, thank you so much. Oh man, always a praise from Caesar around here. I love it. So send us those things. Send them to us on Discord. I want to review them next Friday. Next Friday, I will be reviewing all of your submissions in the Discord. So send them in. I got to see them. But that's it for me. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy Jason Levine coming up next, talking about, I believe, mastering podcasts. So that's actually what I'll be watching next. So I'll see you there in the chat, I suppose. But if not, I'll see you on Tuesday when we're back with some more After Effects related challenges. I think you're going to enjoy them. All right, so that's it for me. Thanks again. Stay creative, be kind to each other, and I will see you all around the internet. Bye for now.